finished loading prop on the booster, and then again, we'll have about 11 million pounds of that liquid oxygen, liquid methane on board the vehicles. Not currently tracking a reason to hold at T-40. It can pop up at the last moment or after we pass that gate. We can always hang out there for a couple of minutes if we need to. We do have some extra time. We're not constantly topping off the propellant in these vehicles, so we have about a 7-8 minute window where we can wait for any final issues to clear. We're not currently tracking a reason to hold there. Again, our range continues to be green as we look at sea and airspace both out over the Gulf and in our reentry zone out in the Indian Ocean. All right, 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. A lot of things on tap for Flight 11. Planned to be the last launch of this version of Starship and Super Heavy. Once again, we're really focused on getting ship over to reentry. Once we get to that phase, we're going to dive in. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening on our way back through and down to the ground, hopefully out in the Indian Ocean. Minute 45. Should hopefully be seeing. There's a quick wiggle check. Checking out the thrust vector control, the steering on the booster. We use those inner 13 engines. Doing their one final dance before the big show. And we'll do that one more time after we cross that T-40 gate. All right, range continues to be green. Still not tracking any issues on vehicle.
I want to see this. 1 minute. 1 minute to countdown. I got to see this live. Let's see if they get through the firmament this time. This is what I want to find out.
As a reminder, we can hold at T-40. We're not planning to. All right. We're through T-40. Let's listen in. Flight Director Ty Huntington back in the seat. Take us through the final
Flight
seconds
Directors, go for launch.
T-minus 20. T-minus 15.
T-minus 10, 9,
Same.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Babylon.
Let's see if they make the firmament.
Beagle's pitching downrange. Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
This is live right now. This is not a recording.
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
Max
All right,
Q.
So at this point, we've passed through that period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. The next thing we're looking forward to is going to be hot staging. So we've got 33 out of 33 Raptors lit. Super Heavy makes its way uphill. Hot staging is going to be coming up in just a little over a minute.
What is it you do?
Come on.
Software development.
3 of those Raptor engines on Super Heavy shut down. Our version of Miko.
See how it's
most
curving?
engines cut off instead of main
That's what
engine.
they always talk about. It curves. It never just keeps going straight up.
And then after that, we're going to release the clamps that are currently holding Starship to that hot stage adapter, it's then going to ignite its 6 Raptor
shit.
engines to push it away from Super Heavy and then start making its flight uphill. So in about 30 seconds, we're going to see the engine start to shut down on Super Heavy. You'll see them kind of shut off in separate banks until we've just got those 3 center engines that never stop running for this process, and then looking for 6 ship Raptors. All right. Nico coming up in about 10
What you
seconds.
think? Leave your comments in the chat.
See the engines throttling down.
What you think is real? Think they really gonna make it?
Ready to go off. Ship ignition. Stage separation. Spec burn startup.
All right, successful hot staging maneuver. So we've got 12 of the 13 engines lit back up on booster, so it's doing its boost back. Real excitingly though, we've got 6 out of 6 Raptors lit on ship there, so it's now going to continue to make its ascent into outer space. Meanwhile, this boost back is happening. We're using those 13 engines, so everything, well, 12 out of the 13, and then we go down to 3, and then we're going to shut down for the end of boost back. That's sending Super Heavy back towards its planned splashdown zone in the Gulf. Right after we finish this boost back burn, we're also going to separate the hot stage. This will be the final time that we're doing this. Is all right, there's the end of the boost back burn. Should be seeing the hot stage. So the hot stage separates, it's going to make its way down, also splash down in the Gulf. In the meantime, though, these 6 ship Raptors are going to continue firing for about 5 more minutes. Next up for the booster, though, is going to be its landing burn. There's a cool tracking shot. We dumped some of the prop out on our way back in. All right, so for booster, this is one of the main things we're trying to get is going to be this landing burn. Oh, that's so you can see the hot stage kind of making its way towards the left side. So that's the bottom of the booster. It's about to pass right in front of where you can see some of that prop dump happening. They look like they're close together, but there's a good amount of distance between them, and the hot stage will go down and splash down in the Gulf while the booster comes back for its landing burn.
Starship is on nominal trajectory.
All right. Looking good on our trajectory, looking good on everything. Jake and Amanda, you guys with me down there?
Yeah, definitely. The crowd is gathering over here in the office. You can definitely feel the energy in here. Great to see that booster is making its way down to the splashdown zone in the Gulf.
Yeah, the shaking down here was absolutely nuts. The windows are still there, still intact, so that was pretty awesome. But yeah, booster's coming down. We're at about 30 kilometers. All right, yeah, and as we approach that landing, just like tower catches, we will be doing a 13-engine landing burn to slow down. This time it will be in a V3 configuration. And as we're starting to get into the denser part of the atmosphere, the booster is using 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric entry towards its landing site.
And we're just about 20 seconds away from landing burn start, where we'll first ignite the center 13 engines, then bring that down to 5 to slow down the booster for landing. And finally, that will come down to 3, and we'll cut all of them off while we're still about 200 meters in the air. So booster is going to see a bit of a hard
Booster landing burn started. Booster landing burn shut down.
And there we heard it. Booster landing burn shut down. We saw a 13 to 5 to 3 V3 demonstration, and into the water we go. Wow, that was absolutely awesome.
Okay, so all they did was make the ship go up in the air and come back down? Isn't the point of a rocket to send it up and leave it up? All they did was put it up in the air and make it land.
So far, so good for today. That was incredible.
No? Am I bugging? Am I the only one who
Alright,
did
great
not
stuff,
see that?
guys.
Or is that just
I'm
the part that
jealous of
fell
the
off?
crowd. Alright, back to ship. Ship still
Okay.
making its way. We've got a little under 2 minutes
Alright.
left in
Because
this
they're excited for
assembler, so we've
nothing.
got all 6
Because the
Raptor
garbage made it
engines
in the
still
garbage
firing.
can, they all excited.
So the next major milestone we're going to be looking for is Seco. That's our second stage engine
This is
cutoff.
live, people. This is not
Should be coming
a recording.
right
This
at
is not
about 8
nothing.
minutes and 58 seconds into flight, so we've got
This
about
is
a
NASA.
minute 20 still to go. Really cool to see Booster go through that landing burn. That was one of our really key demonstrations we
No
wanted
fault.
to try and do today. Is that's mimicking what we're going to be
That's,
hopefully
of course,
doing.
the
Oh,
song.
we just got our sonic boom. Sounds like from the Booster coming back. All right, less than a minute to go. So we are going to see the 3
Because the way AI been working,
optimized engines shut down
you gotta
first,
really
and we'll
analyze
shut down
everything.
those 3 center engines. So we should be a little under a minute until Seco. Just a reminder, this is putting us into a suborbital trajectory, so we're intentionally just going slow enough that we're not going to achieve full orbit. This puts us on a course where those engines shut off, and no matter what, we're coming back.
Starship is in terminal guidance.
In the Indian Ocean. All right, terminal guidance. So we should start seeing the shutdowns come up in just a couple seconds. Less than 30 seconds to go in this ship assembler. All right, our backs have shut off. 3 more to go.
Ship engine cutoff.
All right, all ship Raptors have shut
Nominal
down.
orbit insertion.
You just heard nominal orbital insertion, so we are on the path that we wanted to be. So we've got a ship back in space, a whole lot planned for it, lots more still to come. Great seeing Super Heavy make its way to the
You've
water.
got mail.
But I'm excited to see what ship can do in space. How's everybody doing down there?
You're looking at a live launch just happened. I was able to catch it.
Yeah, if you could hear the crowd.
I want to see if they make it to the firmament or not.
Definitely happy with how the day's been panning
Let me
out
know
so
what you
far.
think
Definitely
in the
excited
chat.
to see Starship safely in space.
Appreciate you
Super
tuning in.
pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today.
Yeah, and we guaranteed it at the start of the show, but it has been an awesome day so far. It's crazy. All this has happened in just 10 minutes. All the objectives were met on the booster, including that B3 style landing burn. So now all eyes are on the ship as we get ready for our in-space objectives. But we've got a few minutes until that next milestone, so sit tight, enjoy the views, enjoy the space jams. We'll be back at T plus 16 minutes for payload deploy.
There you go.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just now joining us, where the heck were you? But we are getting ready for payload deploy. That's going to start once we get the payload door open.
You didn't start your business to do taxes.
Come on with the
The thing
bullshit.
we did. Block Advisors by H&R Block puts small business certified.
Far, quick look inside the payload. We've got 8 Starlink simulators getting ready to make their way into outer space. But great flight so far. Booster able to make it all the way to its splashdown and landing burn experiment. So that was really exciting to see. We got ship on orbit, nominal orbital insertion, so right on the money with its trajectory. Now we're ready to start tackling a couple of in-space objectives. So next up, we are currently venting down the nose cone, essentially the payload area of Starship, as we get ready to open up this payload door. We were able to do this successfully for the very first time on our last flight, on flight 10. Oh, Hal got ahead of me. Looks like he's opening up the payload door already. All right, looks like we got the door open.
How? You know what I mean? Like, how, son? What the fuck is that? How does there dust? The stardust? Yeah.
All right, so payload doors open. Next up, going to be to start deploying these Starlink simulators.
Starlink simulators.
They are roughly the same size as the V3 Starlink satellites that Starship's going to be carrying. That's going to add some pretty crazy capacity. We'll run through the numbers in a little bit. We were able to do this for the very first time ever on our last flight, and so this will be another test. We made a couple of tweaks to the rails for deploying this based off of what we saw last time.
The
But
SpaceX.
excited to see these get out the door. Our next iteration of Starship's also going to have a more powerful PEZ. It's going to deploy these at a little bit faster speed, but looking to see our next demonstration of this hopefully in the next couple of seconds. We should start seeing them move out the door.
How's the door open?
I mean, that view on your
And you're in
left, so you're
space.
basically, that would be if you were sitting at the very top of the nose cone looking down. So there's kind of a short stack. There's 4 on either side, so 8 total. When we start flying Starlinks, for their actual deploy missions, we're going to be carrying stacks of about 60. So much larger stack once we start flying these operationally, but still doing a little bit of a short just for this payload deploy today.
Looks like we got a little bit of movement there, Dan.
Coax it out. Get it moving, Jake.
There we go. All right, first one going out. All right, first one's deployed. Getting ready for the second one here. We do a little reset back to the center position.
Yeah, it takes about a minute for each one.
Looks real smooth too. They made a couple of tweaks to those rails. If you watched the last ones, it had a couple of bumps on the way out, but moving out super clean this time.
Yeah, and as noted earlier in the show, but definitely worth repeating, Starship will deploy Starlink's more advanced V3 satellites, adding 60 terabits per second of capacity to the network per launch. So that's 20 times more than each Falcon 9 launch does today. Just incredible.
And anybody that's been following Starship, you know Starlink's kind of the MVP for these flight tests, where it's not only giving us the views we're seeing right now, but also just real-time data through every phase of flight. So we've got a couple dozen cameras on Starship. We've also got a bunch of cameras spread across the globe, including out in the Indian Ocean, where we've got our fun buoys floating. There goes another one.
I'm guessing these are satellites or pieces of a satellite.
We're using Starlink to bring all of this together.
These are whole
Our drone
launch
shots you see here
that's been
from
going on.
our great team down here at Starbase.
And they're
all
starting to
connected,
let go
so
of
Starlink
satellites
not
into
only
the
giving us full views
atmosphere.
off the planet, but also on the planet.
They're not
helping
saying for
bring
what.
everybody along for all these starships.
They're just saying what they're doing. Views by Starlink.
I think that's number 4. Somebody check my math.
See, SpaceX.
Yeah, we've got 4 Starlink terminals on the outside of Starship. It uses that to talk to the constellation. And through that, we actually get about 120 megabits of bandwidth for our downlink. That's our real-time HD video, all of our telemetry. So it's not just kind of giving us these cool views inside, but it's giving all that engineering data in real time, including re-entry, when normally a plasma layer builds up and blocks you out. Starlink, powerful enough of a frequency that we're able to kind of punch through that and still get that live view. All right, next one out the door. There we go.
All right, yeah, Starlink is the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people around the world, many of who have never had connectivity before. Oh,
There you go. Thank you for the explanation. It's hard to see, but it's coming up here.
right, today
That's where they're
Starlink
going
serves
on at.
more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 7 million active customers and counting. To meet the global growing demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory over in Bastrop, Texas, which is just outside of Austin, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard Kit.
Yeah, and one thing to note about the satellite deploy is that they will be following the same suborbital trajectory of the ship. So these dummy sats will not be going in orbit. We do expect them to burn up on re-entry.
Okay, so these are just the prototypes.
All right, couple more to go. I promise one of these days we'll deploy in daylight, but we're basically trading deploy in the dark so we get those re-entry views for the daytime.
I don't know why I keep feeling like this some Skynet
All
setup.
right, I think we got one
This is
more
gonna be
to
the
go.
satellites that'll control the Terminators. Go do simple shit like this. Give you the Obama phone. Yeah, we want to help you be online. Gonna help you stay connected. The whole time they were using it to monitor everybody illegally.
All right, now
this.
with payload deploy complete, Starship will now close its payload door and continue to coast around Earth to the Indian Ocean. We still have a ton of major events to come today, including Raptor Relight at about T plus 37 minutes. That will be followed by atmospheric reentry and splashdown.
See, it's people like this who believe that they're helping the world, and they're only making the next thing that's gonna kill the fucking world. I can't believe it. All idiots. All idiots. In a very general way, but that's pretty direct. Fucking idiots.
All right, with that payload door closed, we're gonna sit tight, enjoy the views, and enjoy the space jams. Again, we'll be back in just a few minutes for Raptor Relight, and then head back for reentry. All right, welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us, you did miss some exciting stuff because Starship successfully deployed its second ever payload, 8 Starlink simulator satellites. And now we're expecting the relay of a single sea-level Raptor engine in space coming up here just after T plus 37 minutes. So about a minute left to go.
Yep, just a little while. I think we're tracking to 37 in around 49 seconds or so. So we should be just about a minute and a half. We're, again, as Amanda just said, we're going to relight one of those center engines. This will be the third time that we've tried this. We did it successfully back on flight 10, and then we did it the very first time back on flight 6. This is not a deorbit burn. This is demonstrating essentially all of the systems you would need to do a deorbit burn. So that's obviously your Raptor engine, and then also your header tanks, your smaller tanks in the nose cone, where we have liquid oxygen, liquid methane in a smaller, more easily pressurized container, which we can use for on-orbit burns. We're also going to tap into those when we do our landing burn. So this will be a critical capability. Once we go to full orbital missions, you'll have to do a deorbit burn to break out of orbit, send it back down to Earth. But in this instance, we're already on our way back down towards Earth. So this is just going to demonstrate the capability of turning one of these engines on. We should be coming up in just about 20 seconds or so, looking for... Successful ascent burn almost 30 minutes ago.
Appreciate y'all sticking with me, tuning in.
Here we go.
Oh, Raptor ignition. And shutdown.
All right, there was that Raptor relight. Looks like engine 3, full duration. As Dan mentioned, it's the third attempt.
You've got mail.
We just did it 3 times in a row. So congrats to the team, the ship team, Raptor team. And then there we were, nominal second orbital insertion. All right, so congrats everyone on the milestone. That was awesome to see. We're 3 for 3. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. We'll see you soon.
All right, welcome back, everyone. The ship is currently re-entering Earth's atmosphere. As a reminder, we don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, the light show has already begun. You can see plasma starting to build on the windward side of the rocket there. And, re-entry is a critical phase of flight, and we need information on how the ship systems perform. Re-entry is also extremely demanding portion of flight because we need the ship to scrub off all of the energy we used to launch the rocket. So remember the 33 engines plus the 6 engines on ship that we used to get up into space, we now are using aerobraking essentially to scrub off all that energy. And of course, Starlink is a big part of this, giving us the views we have right now, and also letting us gather as much data as possible, which again, is really the main reason why we do these flights. And the view we have right now is actually a really good example. As we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, we have some tiles on the leeward side of the flaps here, and we have some different mechanisms, some stud out, basically to see if these tiles will hang on. And, we can see already here, it looks like we kept most of them, but I think I see a couple there that are no longer there, so the thermal team is definitely going to be digging into that and taking that data to help us iterate on V3. So yeah, Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data and help us rapidly iterate Starship's design.
And if the ship does manage to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, or more than 5 times the speed of sound. Re-entry is typically a portion of flight where we don't have communications with spacecraft because it's re-entering at or around orbital velocity, which is roughly 8 kilometers per second or 5 miles per second.
It can't leave.
At those insanely high speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere creates a plasma field around the vehicle.
You've got mail.
Plasma distorts communication frequencies, so it's not uncommon to experience brief blackouts in communication. All right, so big picture here. Starship is designed to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. So that means we need to do a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes, which is what our
You've got mail.
uses,
Message.
or a runway like the space shuttle.
Don't let them fucking cap you up. Ain't no getting off this fucking rock.
Enables
You're only
more
staying in the
rapid
atmosphere.
reusability.
Now, as the ship makes its way back to Earth, we should start hearing some call-outs. When we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that means the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through all of those, that's a pretty good sign that we're doing well.
Yeah, and we heard flaps have control of the vehicle now. Okay, there's a great shot there. You're starting to see the plasma build up. So we will hear a call out when the ship is transonic and then subsonic. Transonic refers to the period of flight where the velocities of airflows surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. All right, a lot of numbers coming up here, but for reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most fly around Mach 0.74 to Mach 0.85, which is 480 to 575 miles per hour, or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour. Right now, we're going a little over 26,000 kilometers per hour. So compare that to the airplane at 930. It's like pretty crazy how fast we're going here. All right, and after we hear the call out that Starship is transonic, we should hear the call out that Starship is subsonic. Subsonic, of course, refers to the speed that is much less than the speed of sound. So at that point, the ship's velocity will be starting to slow down, and we'll be looking a little bit more like some of our suborbital flights from, at this point, almost 5 years ago.
No, that look crazy though.
Yeah, so re-entry so far is looking pretty good. You can see that plasma field. Also, again, with those missing tile experiments, especially, we're putting the ship through a lot today, but things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, we're looking good. I do want to remind people that we are pushing ship to the limits. We've done a lot of these missing tile tests. We did it back in Flight 10. Every time we do it, we throw something new and the ship makes it through. This time, we're really pushing it. We've removed these tiles in some of the spots that see the highest level of heating. And we remove tiles that have zero backup protection underneath. So there's essentially just bare steel.
Which makes no sense.
It's one of the heat of re-entry. And so do not be surprised if this is not a very smooth flight on the way down. But again, this is intentional. We are trying to find what are the limits for a ship. How resilient are we to these different issues that could pop up? If we lose a tile anywhere in the vehicle, we want to know what that ultimate impact is going to be. So we've got a couple missing. We had a bunch pulled over the primary fuel, the LOX tanks, everything. This one, we've got a tile missing right on top. So that's going to see some of the highest temperatures during this re-entry, and there's just bare steel right underneath it. So we're going to see if Starship's robust enough to pull through that. Also have some tiles missing around the aft flaps, specifically on the leading edge. So again, we're getting a really good look right at the leading edge. That's getting really intense heating. So again, gonna see if it can make it through. See if all the flaps hold on, see if Starship holds together. But definitely could be a bumpy ride, but this is why we're flying. This is why we're flying in this part of the world. This is why we're putting Starship through these flight tests to really understand what its limits are. So we can then move on to the next thing. Just gonna be bringing ships back to the launch site for a catch. But for now, still on the suborbital, the light show continuing. Keep following it. I think we got about 15 minutes until splashdown.
Yeah, Dan, it looks, you can see our speed our speed indicator in the bottom left there. It looks like we're starting to scrub off velocity a little bit quicker.
Ship is entering the peak heating phase of flight.
Looks like you can see some clouds down there as we pass through 70 kilometers altitude.
Yeah, the sun's starting to come up again. There we go.
There we go.
Skirt is intact so far this time. If you watched Flight 10, you saw we entered with a little bit missing. That was ultimately traced to a little bit of buildup. We dumped prop on the way. We had a little bit of solid propellant buildup, and then either static discharge or the plasma ignited it, took out a tiny bit of that skirt, some of the aft flaps, but Starship, again, was able to fight through it, make it all the way to that landing burn. We addressed that, changed some of our prop dump con-ups, though, so Should not be seeing that this time around. And as a reminder, we're, in addition to these missing tile tests, we're doing kind of a unique flight on the way in. It's going to do what we call a banking maneuver. So while we're still going supersonic and even hypersonic, we're doing kind of a banking turn, and then we'll do a pretty aggressive turn right as we get into the subsonic and start doing our belly flop. And that's designed to essentially be the approach that we would do on a return to launch site and the tower catch. So don't be surprised if we see the ship start to turn and make a few maneuvers as it makes its way down to the Indian. And fun fact, even though we're doing all this turning, we're essentially targeting the exact same spot in the Indian Ocean we went to last time. All right, just about 12 minutes to go. Still looking good. That gives a pretty good view of those aft flaps where, again, on the leading edge, I think it might be on the one on the other side, we had some tiles removed with no
Yo, man.
backups behind it. So again,
No,
we're
I'm sitting here
really
watching
trying to
this
stress some
live
of the most sensitive
launching going
areas
on.
around Starship, where basically if you lose a tile, it's the worst possible spot. And if we're able to make
Scrolling
it through
through,
this, then
I
that
found
tells
this
us quite a
shit.
bit about just how resilient this vehicle is.
But they're only going in the atmosphere. They're not breaking through. So it's still just all a lie.
Yeah, and that shot we
I'm
just
never
had
gonna get
earlier
off
was
this
looking
motherfucker.
at what we call the business end of Starship with all the Raptor engines. And those are the
Yo.
engines that we're going to be expecting to light for that flip and landing burn, hopefully in about 10 minutes once we get through reentry. Yeah, there we go.
That's risky.
Yeah, looking at E3, that's the one we did the relight on. So it's 2 for 2 so far. We'll see if we can go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All right, we can see that speed just
SpaceX
continue to
live.
bleed off under 20.
When the sawdust settles and the
Fucking
engine
commercial.
roars, the thing you care about is a job well done.
Ship's still holding together.
Yeah, and if you look in the bottom right, looks like we've made it all the way to the Indian Ocean. We're coming up kind of near Australia, the west side of Australia there. So pretty crazy. We're only 56 minutes in, and we've made it all the way, halfway around the world. It's actually a good demonstration of a future capability we hope to have on Starship where we will do point-to-point transport on Earth. So essentially travel anywhere in the world in about an hour or so, which is, going to be pretty crazy. Imagine going from New York to Sydney in 1 hour instead of the, 20 hours it takes currently.
I'm sitting here bugging out watching this live rocket launch. So don't think that this is a recording. Essentially, what they did was drop off satellites that give people more coverage, like cell phone coverage.
And a
That's what they
reminder, so
say.
this camera is.
But to me, I'm thinking, my heart kept saying the Skynet, like the shit for the Terminator. First, they go off giving out the Obama phones, everybody take it easy, and then they're using that to track us and to use them as cameras. Then comes the AI robots. Now that's going crazy. The AI programming, that's going crazy. All you need is the satellite to control it. This is what I'm watching. I can't believe it. What up, JJ? You see this bullshit they got over here doing? You see this bullshit? Keep fucking around with shit, man. Putting these satellites in the air.
Vehicle is now at maximum dynamic pressure.
But they ain't even go nowhere. Yeah, they still just in the atmosphere. See what I mean? They still
that
just
was
in the
basically our
atmosphere. They
reverse
ain't
max
even leave
Q,
nowhere from
so
space. What they call
most
space.
aerodynamic stress that it's going to see during reentry, we just passed through it. So we're past that. We're past peak heating.
I'm watching this
Ship's
rocket
still
launch.
holding together.
This the kind of shit I be into. This is the kind of news
So
I
we're
want to
currently
know
in
about.
this
What you
bank
doing?
maneuver.
Where
We're
you
going to
going?
see it kind of roll over and do a pretty significant shift as we get down closer to the subsonic speeds.
Because my whole question be not what you doing,
Yeah,
but
that
why
bank
you doing
maneuver
it.
that
Why you
Dan's
putting the
mentioned,
satellites up there? We ain't
all
got enough
four of
up
us
there
will
already.
learn about the guidance navigation
keep fucking
control
with shit.
for return to launch site missions. So in the near future, we're hoping to return the ship back to the same pad we just took off on 59 minutes ago, and we've got to do some of these pretty dynamic bankings to make that trajectory work out.
And all they did was go up in the air, hang right there for a second, drop off whatever they got to drop off. And it said the
light show
payload drop
kind of
off.
calming down as we're
Dropped off their shit
starting
and they
to
come
move
right
into
back
the lower
down.
parts of the atmosphere.
Ain't going
We
nowhere.
should hit transonic, so hitting that transition between moving faster than the speed of sound and below the speed of sound in just
Oh,
about
for
3.5
real.
minutes.
All day.
Our landing burn should happen
All day,
right
son.
around an hour and 6 minutes after launch, so we should be just about 6 minutes away from that. You can see.
And I watched the whole thing too.
Everybody cross your fingers
To make sure
see
you
if our
get
range
all
team is
that,
able to get out there
all that
and
watch time.
provide any surprise views as Starship makes its way down. Oh, it's like they heard me.
Look. Somebody come and look at this shit. Look. Look.
Let's go.
Look at this shit.
Dan, you just spoke that view into existence there. And again, all brought to us by
LTS bank
Starlink.
maneuver has started.
All right, there we go. So we're now starting into our really heavy bank maneuver. And this does almost like a half circle loop to our actual trajectory. We're heading to the same exact splashdown point, but we're kind of doing a more roundabout way to get there, where it's this kind of big, long half moon loop and then a really aggressive and a twist right at the very end. And that would line us up with the launch tower. Starship on a return to launch site would fly over the tower,
Right, I was just about to say, I was like, I wonder now that being like the first time officially, quote unquote, that I see you. I'm like, I wonder. Now is the question of how are you on live, or you know, you just gotta find your content. Find your content. It could be your skincare routines.
All right, should be hitting
the Q&As.
in about 2.5 minutes.
Smash you can do. I'm happy to see you at least post something. That's all that matters.
Out there in the Indian Ocean today. Again, yeah, we changed our launch times. We launched in the evening now, so we get these daytime views down in the Indian Ocean. One of the things we're really looking for, the reason we have the drone, other than, yeah, that looks really cool, is we're able to kind of see the ship. We can only see so much from these cameras. You can't see, like, the vast majority of the heat shield. So we throw these buoys out there. We've got...
It really gives you option to just
there it is.
drop like a postcard.
Play with me in the control room. All right. But we have these buoys out there. We have these drones that we're trying to see.
Okay, those are the buoys gonna watch it.
Externally, how the heat shield held up. Everybody saw from Flight 10, it had a little bit of a paint job, a little bit of a reddish hue. That was from those metallic tiles that we had tested. kind of oxidizing really rapidly in that plasma and then spreading.
Yeah,
those
you
little
can even
oxide
make your
particles
lives
all over
like
the heat
that.
shield.
That people could do
No metal
live
tiles
Q
on
and
this flight,
A's,
so not expecting to see
and
that.
those could give you ideas to
Pressure's
make
coming down.
shorter videos and content, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
Hope nobody gets seasick.
Zaza gonna keep you looking proper.
Sonic shortly.
Top shotter.
2.5 minutes of landing burn.
Yeah, and once we get to around the 15-kilometer altitude mark, that's where we have a lot of flight history.
Starship is transonic, starting the belly flop phase of flight.
Yeah, that belly flop phase, that means
Coming in hot.
the suborbital campaigns, we're entering that now.
It still is amazing to see this type of technology to be able to do that, to go up into that atmosphere, and
Landing burn again.
it's
we're
still
gonna
an
go
amazement.
flip.
But
After we ignite those engines, we'll go
if you know, you
down
know.
into the final phase of the landing burn and look for another soft splashdown. Hopefully by our buoy and drone, which are hanging out, ready and waiting for a ship.
Yeah, he was saying that shit.
Seeing all three center engines have entered the chill phase.
Nah, I'm just thinking of ideas like, for an intro or like a jingle. My mind's always thinking ideas and thinking marketing, and just I'm always working. Even when I'm supposed to be out somewhere enjoying myself, I'm still looking at it, being a manager, being critical, being A&R.
The
It's
ship is making
hard
its
for me to
turn.
just relax.
Here's this kind of aggressive final turn
My bad, y'all.
that would essentially position it so it's right behind the launching catch tower. Flaps holding strong. Landing burn in just under 20 seconds.
That's funny as shit. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Ship landing startup.
Oh. Ah, they changed the view.
3 down to 2.
Starship is landed.
That's the buoy view. They made it. Oh shit, they made it. It didn't blow up, people. It didn't blow up. Oh, yes it did. Yeah, I spoke too soon. Motherfucker blew up.
Hey, welcome back to Earth, Starship. We are down in the
Oh yeah, you missed it. We went live together. We did a
Let him hear it
side by side collab just to try it out, see how the flow is. It was alright. Yeah, that bitch blew up. I thought it was cool. Then it was like, nope, boom, boom.
Welcome back to Earth, ship. What a day. A whole lot more to go through. As you just saw, everybody here at Starbase pretty hyped. Hey, Tyler, out of Hawthorne, how's everybody holding up?
Thank you, Dan. We had a fantastic time watching. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope that you enjoyed the
Word.
Italian keys too. So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many employees contribute to the Starship program as we continue to iterate and make progress towards a multi-planetary future. So that wraps it up for us here in Boston.
I don't know.
Thank
They
you for tuning
bugging.
in.
What you think?
Guys.
You think they bugging trying to go to space?
Incredible launch today. We had
What you think? What you think?
successful lift
What y'all talking about?
Booster completed its objective, successfully splashed down over in the Gulf. Obviously saw another amazing Starlink deploy as well from ship.
Appreciate it.
Through that re-entry, testing
I love catching lives like that and stuff, and it's crazy how lately I've been catching things, just being in the right place, right time. You know, my algorithm is treating me right. But those type of things is what I'd be interested in. National Geographics, spaceships, because it's never the what. I'd be like, why? You know what I mean, why? Something my dad always taught me. Understand the why. You can understand the when, the where, the what. You can understand everything else. The how, if you understand the why.
The residents of its newest city, Starbase, as well as the Coast Guard, the
Okay. Yeah, though. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'm gonna end this live just for this part because of the rocket launch, so we can stay focused on that topic. I'll be back around. All right. I'm gonna jump back on. Solid.